Hello, welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. This is Niger Political and Social Talk as usual, coming from you from a location in Europe. And as a matter of fact, I want to talk about, the problem Nigeria is facing right now. The problem of division, internal division in Nigeria, where you see the Igbos are agitating for their state. And right now we are hearing people from Edo State and Delta State. I'm talking about the former, Bende State that comprises of these two states, that they also want to have their own country, that they have oil, they have everything. But I want to say something here. What I want to talk about is to show the Nigerians, especially those who are agitating for their own states, that what Nigeria is today, or what Nigeria has been, it is what is making a lot of countries very great today. Why United States is very formidable, it is exactly those things that the Nigerians, few Nigerians are complaining about, that they blame as the problem, that they blame as their, as their obstacles to progress and development. So that is why I would like to start with United States of America. So let's just look at what actually made America. The European came in there, they met the Indians there. Okay? After that, they engaged in slave trade, they brought the black people there. And after that, there were mass migration from Germany. As a matter of fact, when you look at American history, you are going to see that they were even afraid that America was going to start speaking German. Because, when you look at a lot of big companies, even when you go to Milwaukee, you are going to see all those tools companies, those companies that manufacture tools, beer companies in Milwaukee. You are going to see those things are all by German families. You come to Chicago and so many other companies right there in United States, because the Germans were very hardworking people. They were great threat to the Irish and the British people who actually first arrived in United States. And until actually after Second World War, where a lot of Germans actually changed their names. So whenever you see names now, today you are seeing United States, those names actually belong to the Jews. I'm talking about the German Jews, like, Mark Zuckerberg. They call it Zucker, but it's not Zucker, it's called Zuckerberg, which means sugar hill. That's the right pronunciation of that very particular family name. He's a German Jew. When you look at the CEO of CNN, he has almost the same name called Zucker. But they call it Zucker, but it's not Zucker, it's called Zucker, which means sugar. So you have a lot of them. Whether on CNN you have Hubleiser. Hubleiser is a typical German Jew. And so many of them there. So why am I doing all this? Just to give you a little bit history of United States of America. So now, what makes them dominant? Let's first of all visit Silicon Valley in San Francisco right there, where you have Apple, Google, Facebook, Microsoft, WhatsApp, and the rest of them. You are going to see that those companies are succeeding because of, people that are coming from outside to work there. The Spanish, the Germans, the Indians, and so on and so forth. When you look at the general composition of United States, let's look at everybody there. Blacks, Latinos, the European whites, the Jewish people, the Arabs, the Indians. I'm talking about the indigenous Indians. You see, other people are not having problem in United States and say that, look, we are being discriminated against because of our color, because of our ethnicity, because of our race. It's only black people that have been complaining all these years. Exactly what you are seeing in Nigeria. But why I am saying this is to show you why America dominates everyone else, why they are superior, is because of the racial composition that actually makes up America. When you look at area of music, you have the pop music, okay, which is predominantly white culture, rock, hard rock, heavy metal, soft rock. You can hear such music all over the world. That's how they dominate. Look at hip-hop music, rap music, or R&B, jazz, blues, coming from black people. Everywhere you go around the world, you are going to hear those music everywhere. That's how they dominate the world. You look at movies. Everywhere you go, you are going to see American movie, irrespective of race, whether, you know, white movies or Jewish movies or black movies. They dominate everywhere. Compare that with the Nigerian movies that you can never see play in any international cinema because they are just too amateur. People just cannot spend their time to go to directing schools and begin to make mature movies. No, they don't have time for that. I'm going to connect everything here. Let's look at military. Why America still dominates is because of the same reason. Great country with high population of about 260 something million people. Culturally, they dominate military, finance, economy, because great country actually, you know, have that potential to have great economic power. That's why China is going to run the world in the nearest future. We're talking about billions of people. Why are they ahead of Japan today? It's not because, you know, what they produce is more, but because Japan has lesser population of about 120 to 130 million. So there's no way they can try with that population to beat a nation with almost 2 billion. So now you come to Nigeria. What's actually going on there? Because it is the same problem that you see in many countries in Africa. Let's look at, take for instance, Cameroon. When the English-speaking region in Cameroon actually joined the French-speaking Cameroon, as you know, the French-speaking Cameroonians are the majorities. So they use their majority to oppress those, you know, minority that speaks English. So today you can see those people agitating for their own country because it didn't work for them to live together. Is it because of the English people who refuse to assimilate? They don't want to learn French? Or is it because they are being discriminated against just because they speak English? I don't know what's going on there. But that is the failure of black people to come together and to build a great country for themselves. And I would like to compare that situation you have in Cameroon with what has taken place many years ago in France, where the Alsace region, you know, if you ever been to Strasbourg is the capital there, okay? After the Second World War, that very region was given back to France. They are not French people, they are Alsace people. The Alsace, they speak language called Germanic language. It's almost like German language. So, but German took over then during First World War. German lost the war when the whole war fought against Germany. That area were handed over to France. By then, I think they were still speaking their language. And again, during the building up to Second World War, Hitler took over that place and occupied it. And they annexed it to Germany. They actually seized that place because they believe it's a part of Germany, or it was a part of Germany, because they are actually German tribes. They speak German. It's just like Liechtenstein. If you ever been to Liechtenstein, or it's just like when you have Monaco. Monaco and France are brothers and sisters. That is why even though Monaco is not in the EU, they are actually using euro, because France has a lot of power in European Union. France actually granted them that access to have that, say, money. Okay? Otherwise, Monaco is not in the union. But because of France, they have access to a lot of things. So, the Alsace people, they were giving back to France. What actually happened? France actually changed their language. They speak French right now. They forgot about their language. They were assimilated. And there has never been any form of discrimination in terms of, phone distribution or development or anything. They treat them the same way they treat other regions in France. So people like that, they wouldn't have any problem. They were happy to assimilate. They were happy to, to actually forget their own language. But in Nigeria now, the Igbo people have tried in the past to break away. It didn't work. So they told them, look, it is better we have to go back to that struggle, because things are not working here. Igbo is a major tribe, but they have not been given the opportunity to do anything in that country. Don't get me wrong, because it's not that I'm actually for them breaking away. Because what I want to tell you right now might surprise you, that even though they break away, they are going to have a problem, internal problem within themselves. It's already going on. Local government election within themselves, the same tribe, the same people, they start fighting themselves. And when you want to break that up, they will say, the Northern always come to, to influence their local elections. What a lie. You go to the Yoruba place, they kill it themselves. Election organized within themselves. I'm talking about governorship election or local government elections. That of Edo State, I will somehow understand that, because Edo State is made up of different tribes. You have the Benis there, you have the Isham people, you have the Esako, you have the Afema, you have even the Ijo, and so on and so forth. So they still having problem there in Edo State. Somehow I will understand that. But elections organized in Igbo land there, within their tribe, fighting themselves, in Yoruba place, within themselves, fighting themselves. So that is to tell you that even though they have their own various countries in Nigeria, they are still going to be killing themselves. We know what happened when South Sudan, broke away with the help of Barack Obama. After 2 years, they start killing themselves. Up to now, there's no peace there. So, but what I want to say right here is to show you that normally what you have there today in Nigeria, great population, that means that country has a lot of potential to be a dominant country, even in Africa. But they have not been able to realize that potential. And Susan Rice, former U.S. Secretary of State, when she was invited to one of those forums that they organized in Nigeria, she told the Nigerians, you've been talking about potential for so long. It's about time you realize that potential. And she was just saying the truth. If you want to know people that have potential, let me just show you that. Germany, after Second World War, their scientists were deceived by, by the Americans, by the Russians, by the British people. Even by some of them actually ran away out to France. They were deceived and said, your country is finished. We have conquered this country. Nothing is going to work. They are going to be under us. So they actually divided Germany. East were controlled by Russia. The West by United States, and some part will also be controlled by France until France withdraw later. So these Germans were deceived. Their best scientists were scrambled for They actually went to US and developed all those space program. United States space program. You know, in Russia, the same thing. In France, the same thing. You have this Dassault aviation there. These are all German scientists that were scrambled for, who actually arrived in these countries and began to build things that they were building, that the whole world was surprised. A lot of strange inventions when Hitler was there. So what am I saying here now? Germany was somehow desolated. There was nothing there. Everybody left. To date, none of those scientists have returned. They've changed their name already. They've hidden their identity. There's no way they can come back. Germany had to start afresh. They had to start afresh. Started raising scientists again, begin to build their institutions. Imagine everyone in a country that have know-how of anything left that country. Nothing will happen. But the Germans worked hard and begin to raise afresh new scientists, begin to build their institutions. That is a country with great potential. And they have realized it within a short time. That just within 20 years, they became the biggest economy in Europe once again. Up to today, Germany is still the highest exporter of industrial products. Okay? So, these are people that have potential. Nigerians are saying you have potential, but they never realize it. Why? Because they don't see themselves as one people. They don't see themselves as people that belong to one country. That name Nigeria is just a mirage for them. It's not existing. Even though it exists, the people are divided along ethnic and tribal lines to the very detriment of any form of vision of development anyone might have for the country. That is why you cannot just be going around, you meet, a Nigerian and say, oh, that is my brother. Because in Nigeria, they don't believe that they belong to a country that they have to fight for. They don't know what it is for them to belong to a country, a great country, where they can be going around and be proud. Where people will ask them, where are you from? You will say it and the people will be, they will appreciate you. They will have that respect for you. They don't know that. Yorubas, they had their meeting there. They have to start speaking their language. They don't care whether you understand what they're saying or not. Because they don't see you as brothers and sisters. They only see themselves. So why are they blaming their failures on the amalgamation of the northern and southern states or eastern or whatever that happened there? It's because they have failed. Every time a black man fails, he always looking for some excuse. Go to Chicago. I'm not doing this to bash the black Americans. I have tremendous respect for them. But what I'm talking about is to show you the problem black people have. In Jamaica, the same thing. Chinese have to start building road for them. They have to owe Chinese a lot of money, 700 something million US dollars. You go to a lot of African countries, the Chinese have to come there to build everything for them. So now let's come back to what I was saying. Let's look at Singapore. When the man, Mr. Joe, came into power many years back, the man has passed away now. They call him the great builder. He was the one that actually had that vision for Singapore. Singapore actually broke away from, from Malaysia. In Singapore, you have three major tribes: the ethnic Chinese, the ethnic Malays, and the ethnic Indians. So there were kind of problem in the past also, a lot of discriminations. But when Mr. Yeo came into power, he made a law that banned any form of discriminations and nepotism. So where is Singapore today, for God's sake? One of the best countries in the world. Let's look at Malaysia. The man there, I forgot the name, they call him the great builder. You see, Nigeria never have any strong man. All that you have had there, right from after independence, are all wimpy individuals who never had any vision for Nigeria. I don't care whatever you want to say here, but I know the history of Nigeria. The so-called leaders Nigeria has had in the past, they were never strong leaders. They were never people who were ready to die for Nigeria. I told you before, you never produce any great leaders. So Nigerians are blaming the amalgamation of the northern and southern states as the root of their failure, as hindrance to their development, because that is what black people does. When they fail, they begin to look for excuse. Otherwise, just like United States, Nigeria will have been a very big country in Africa. Look at the population, for God's sake. 160 something million people. That's supposed to mean great economy, great military, great culture. That they have to dominate everything in Africa. But where are they now? Nowhere to be found. Their democracy is the worst. Corruption is what you see everywhere, irrespective of the regions. The same mentality, the same way of approach of things. Everywhere you go in Nigeria. If you are from the south, you are not better than those from the north. If you are from the east, you are not better than those from the west. They are all the same. If you arrive in Kaduna, it's the same attitude. It's the same corruption you are going to see in Anambra, in Oyo State, in Ogun State, in Edo State, in Rivers State. It is the same corruption in every levels. So now, before you talking about breaking away, you have to first of all see what have your leaders been doing. I'm talking about local governments and state governments. Are they better? Have they outperformed the rest in terms of development? What vision have they had for their people that have succeeded? Nah, nothing to show for it. No one can boast. No region in Nigeria can boast. So, but what you have there, why you see that those that are close to Lagos actually benefit a lot, because everything that comes to Nigeria actually enter from Lagos. So Ogun State and the rest of them benefited from there tremendously. So that's what helped them. And of course, we should not underestimate the advantage it awards a lot of Yorubas when Lagos was the capital. And they will push away anyone that is not of their tribe. They will, give those scholarship. The government is giving out every year only to their people to go and study in London, to go and study in the United States. That's why you see them in the United States. And of course in London. Minorities in Nigeria and even with the Igbos were not given such scholarships. And now the capital was moved to Abuja. They are the same people. So now you see the Igbos try to express their disenchantment, over what is going on in Nigeria. I don't blame them. If Mr. Obama was in Nigeria, there's no way he would have run that country. Because in Nigeria, the majority tribes, they dictate to other people in a kind of authoritarian manner. In other words, they oppress others. That they bring out fools and ask you to vote for them. And you have to vote to meet your citizen obligation. You have to vote. But that is the problem Nigeria has been. A nation that ought to have been great because of a lot of advantage that they have. That today they would have stand up to speak, the whole world will have feared them. Not even the Africans. The Africans will have bow immediately. Because of the great population that they have. It's a lot of advantage. Because of the fact that that country is made up of different people, different ideas, different cultures, different way of thinking that you can put to work and you will come out with a very wonderful results. But the Nigerians has turned it into a curse for themselves. And let's look at India. You know, you go to India, you are going to see a lot of tribes there, just like Singapore, just like even China have a lot of tribes. That is why, I mean, when you meet any Chinese person, you just ask them with the name just the same way you have it in Africa. In Nigeria today, you see somebody called Osaje, you know immediately it's from Edo State. You see somebody called, you know, Chidima, you know, it's from East. You see somebody called, you know, Babatunde, you know, it's a Yoruba person. So in China, the same way, they have these different names according to their, you know, tribe in that country, and each of them know themselves. They can tell you this person is from that tribe, this is from that tribe. Doesn't mean because all of them speak Chinese. You have some countries where everybody speaks the same language, but they have different culture, and they have dialects and different, you know, names and whatever. United States, like I said before, dominate everyone else because of that very advantage, which the Nigerians couldn't see and exploit that very advantage for the benefit of their people. But what you have now is eternal conflicts. People fighting themselves and killing themselves. But that is what black people does all the time. They can't build nothing. You go to Nigeria today, you ask any boy to go and learn work, you say, I'm not going to learn work. I want to travel. I want to go for robbery. I'm going to do this next time. Why? You see that during this summer transfer right now, football clubs are talking about big names. You cannot see any single Nigerian player. All these are the problem Nigeria have. Imagine you say Brazil has no big players in every clubs around the world. Imagine you say there are no Germans. I mean, look at the way French has dominated everyone else, every clubs in Europe right now. French players are very much active in all these clubs. That's what made them great country. But today, you don't have any single Nigerian in top 10 or top 15 big clubs in Europe. What a shame. Because in Nigeria today, either you send your kids to university or he just roaming about. The Brazilian doesn't have to go to a football academy. Of course, those things are what is going on in Europe. Look at the other guy right now, James Rodriguez, something like that. That had just been transferred from Real Madrid to, Bayern Munich. Very young guy. I think he's from Colombia or something. I don't remember. And look at the other guy also, Sanchez, from Arsenal that Bayern Munich want to actually buy, but the price is just too high. From Chile. These are all small countries. What is going on with Nigeria? What is going on, for God's sake? This is what I want to talk about. God bless you as you listen. Talk to you next time.
I'm